Hello everybody. Okay, so we covered J, we covered Khan. What's next? Wait. I'm getting small views. I'm missing something.
Oh yeah! This is happening!
Better. So, computers. Why? Well, there's been a weird occurrence within the show. The show has a sci-fi setting. It's in a post-apocalyptic world set in the year of 3071, as seen in this scene from episode 3. This is odd, as the tech and architecture is pretty old for the time, being more in line of technology commonly used, or very outdated in the 21st century. For example, they use smartphones, and old CRT monitors, and yet had the power to spread out across the universe. It's a bit strange how they use such old tech at this point. Not to mention the architecture looks like it was made within the last 100 and 200 years from today. Imagine living in a home with an architecture from 1066. The pillars of the progression of society are not to be found in the world of murder drones. However, humanity had the ability to place humans on other planets, probably the power to terraform the planets for human life, able to stabilize the planet's core, to behave in a way that would keep the climates to that of Earth, make robots that are like tiny humans, and overcome any moral pushback from even making the little things in the first place. It makes you think, how was this society so advanced, and yet the tech, culture, architecture, etc. looks no different from our own. Now first, to get this out the way, there's the obvious out-of-canon reason. It's simply one of two things, or both. It's probably first and foremost a resource issue. Glitch is an indie company, so they mix and match different assets to make one large world. It could be as boring as that. It's either that, or an aesthetic choice. Murder Drones is a love letter to teens chronically online, and young adults that were chronically online teens. Right now, there is a boom in nostalgia for the 90s and 2000s internet, and tech. I mean, when Uzi was giving her presentation, I got distracted with the OS she was running. It looked like some hybrid of Windows 95 or 98 and Windows XP. 95 biting the bullet in late 2001, 98 in 2002, and XP in 2014. Also, let me just rant a bit about the OS used in Absolute End. In this shot, Uzi has a OS running similar to XP, with the classic Bliss background, but the taskbar, desktop icons, and the windows themselves are more in line for 95 or 98. It's some weird hybrid of Windows 98 and XP. It's probably a mixture of the two, as it's probably a thing for assets, and for the atmosphere, so any explanation will only be speculation and / your head canon, but still fun to theorize. One argument I hear is that since the invention of drones and space projects, humanity hasn't focused on anything else. This could be valid, as humanity having these foot servants wouldn't need to innovate, but in the 1000 years from today, until the 3000s is a bit of a stretch. Humanity so far has had more and more advancements in technology. In 1000 years humans have gone from the medieval ages to the information age. Since then, we discovered planets, the Earth wasn't the center of the universe, theories for modern science, the laws of physics, etc. Then the industrial age brought more advancements in science, math, and technology. In 140 years, humans went from telegraphing being the fastest medium of communication to the ARPANET, the internet's precursor. So, what did that rant have to do with the funny robot show? Well, it shows that a lot can change in 100 years, let alone 1000. Also, something I didn't mention was cultural changes. Culture can change a lot in 100 years. I mean, around 500 years ago, we were burning people at the stake for heresy. So, in the 1000 years nothing changed about human society at all? In fact, at times society seemed to regress a bit, if anything else, going back to a more Victorian era feel, although that's probably just Tessa's family. So, Suffice to say, just because drone and space tech took up everyone's innovation skills, doesn't mean that human culture, social structures, and, probably, geopolitical stasis would just remain the same. Another reason I've seen is the reason for all these old computers and stuff is for security. We've only seen human things sparingly, aside the Elliott Manor, and even there, they still have modern, for our standards, tech. But, who knows if they don't have modern tech, that we just never see on screen. The only times we see the CRT monitors is in places that experimented on the worker drones with the solver. In real life, governments use outdated tech, and OSs for security, and to run programs that won't work on modern OSs. In fact, governments get the OS makers, such as Microsoft, to make updates to the OSs they need, for security. So perhaps they had old CRT monitors, as the solver would have a harder time to hack into them. I doubt it, as the solver, being some eldritch god thing, probably could hack into a 1,000-year-old computer if they can do things like this. But a counter-argument could be made that the humans didn't know that the solver could affect old CRT computers, or the solver tricked them into thinking they were safe when they weren't. But that argument is a bit flimsy. I guess it could also be that someone in the prom accidentally put a 3 instead of a 2 and never changed it. But, I doubt that was just Liam trolling the fandom. So, if it's nothing else, then what bullshit excuse can I pull out of my ass to make sense of the situation? Because the real world answer is far too boring for this world. Perhaps something a bit more drastic. Maybe somewhere in the near-distant future, say in the 2100s to the 2200s at the latest, there was a major fall in human society. Let's look at the fall of Rome, for example. The fall of Rome put Western civilization back at least 1,400 years behind. It took until the 1800s for life expectancy to get back to where it was at Rome's height. Art and technology wouldn't recover until the Renaissance. So, as you can see, the fall of Rome really forced the growth of Western civilization back by centuries, to at most a millennium and a half. So, what would cause a fall of Rome type scenario, but making all of humanity have to crawl back to not only where it was, and to the point it is in the show? What event could cause such a thing? What could? Yes, my final theory is that humanity sometime in the 21st to 22nd century got into nuclear warfare. Perhaps something happens to trigger World War III, and when one side was getting close to being toppled, or some mentally unstable leader decides to make a first strike, the chain reaction starts, and full-out nuclear warfare starts, decimating governments, and putting all of humanity nearly a millennium back. So, with humanity being stunted, it rises after nuclear winter lets up, nuclear fallout clears, the remnants of cities safe to inhabit once the fallout clears, and humanity claws back to where it was, and better than ever. Maybe the solver even came out of the nuclear fallout, and was discovered by humanity. So, to conclude my new stance on wise tech, cities, architecture, culture, and government systems in the world of murder drones so similar to us in the real world, despite having the ability to conquer other planets and make sentient AIs? Nuclear warfare. Nukes set humanity back by a millennium, just like what the fall of Rome did to Western civilization. Maybe the reason that humanity is more developed in some areas, and more behind in others, is that the solver was discovered, helping humanity recover much faster technologically, making the tech recover quicker, and improve. Perhaps it even allows space travel to have some hyperspeed, and making it super affordable. So, tech would improve, but the culture will still have some catching up to do, hence the way people talk, act, and build houses and things. But that's just my headcanon/theory. If any of you have anything to add to the argument, or have any other ideas to add, or to disprove my verdict, then please, comment below what you think. This is something I've always wondered, so I'd love to have some more voices in the matter. The main reason for this video is to stir up more conversations from this topic. Anyway, for now, sayonara.
No, this isn't happening. There's no reason for me to go on. What am I fighting for?